Making a quick video, just a message to two lawyers that spoke up in the hearing today and offered to represent me for free. That's never happened before. I've never heard of that happening before. It's a really weird coincidence to have two criminal defense lawyers in there just kind of volunteer their services. So I wanted to send a message to them. There is an outside chance that these two gentlemen believe they did some kind of a good deed, but criminal defense lawyers are the only lawyers who I will even acknowledge their presence, like, that I even consider still have shreds of humanity within them. They're the only bar members whatsoever, because they help minimize the impact of the state. Now, they'll manipulate the hell out of people to take their money. They're still weasels and liars, don't get me wrong, but shreds of humanity left, right? So that's my opening remarks to them. They offered that, and it came because I was making it clearly known that there were motions on the record and that this judge had been denying them, and he's interrupting me like crazy, not allowing me to speak, and I'm talking about him interrupting me and not allowing me to speak, and it's clear that he's not. I've come up with this nice folder, it's indexed, there's divisions, there's labels on the divisions. I am ready for a jury trial. I am ready for a jury trial to present one, and one that my kid and grandkids will listen to in the future and that I can be proud of. I'm not going up there 99%. I'm not going to be somebody's fool, right? I am ready. I've spent 20 hours in the last 2 days ready, right? And so, you two, if you're thinking that you did some kind of a favor, they looked like they could have been shocked, right, when I came back with the reply, which was, I would never allow another lawyer to represent me because you can have me gagged or thrown out of the room and rule against me in my absence, and they, on paper, will be as me in legalese. I would never agree to be represented by a bar member. I have assistants of counsel, they're not licensed by my accuser, and I turn to him, and I turned to this guy when he tried to, I forget what it was he said, or what was said, right? All I remember is turning around, and then now I'm giving this guy a look. Not like I want to hurt him, but I'm giving him a look, because I think he thought that he was doing me a favor. And look, did you not understand? I'm clearly offering, I would be willing to blah, blah, blah. And what he didn't realize is that his training, whether he is doing this maliciously or not, maybe he's doing it benevolently, whatever, his training, whether he doesn't realize it, has manipulation written in it. This is systemic manipulation level system, right? Level justice system. And so when I hear that manipulation, attempt at manipulation, it can be a slap in the face. You're just insulting my intelligence, as if I wouldn't recognize that. I don't care if you all won't talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to this conflict of interest, that all of you are licensed by the same institution, and all of you have careers that are coerced by this judge, and this judge is obviously just an absolute fucking tyrant and shreds the Bill of Rights in half right before you. None of you do anything about it. None of you stand up to do anything about it. And that's why your complicity and your profit allows a place to fester into this toxic corruption that we witness. Like, come on. Against someone who is simply trying to know the cause and nature of the charges beyond the title of the charge. This is the system that you're supporting by working within. You have chosen this career. Oh, what am I supposed to do? Just not leave everybody? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. If it can't function without criminal defense lawyers, then if there are no criminal defense lawyers and it can't function, ta-da, this is not hard logic. It would have to adapt. What would make criminal defense lawyers want to work for a system again? I don't know. Maybe they should be licensed by an independent institution than the one that licenses the prosecutor and the same one that licenses the judge. I'm explaining this because to them it's news. To my viewers, this is old news. They're already bored, the few that are still listening. But, on this channel. But, so I'm trying to explain it to them, right? Like, Oh, that's what it was. I slipped in and paid by. So, well, they're not paid by the government, they're paid by you. I'm like, well, they just said they're doing it for free, and I'd really like to know why lawyers are in the middle of a hearing interrupting it to offer to work for me for free. Do they do that for everybody? And as I said that, I pointed to everybody behind him, meaning, yo, why aren't you guys getting free lawyers? What's going on here? Right? Because they're trying, in my opinion, if I had to bet money on it, they see the judge going through a difficulty, one that's been going on for almost a year, and one that is being, like, I am no joke. I am making a mockery of him. He threatened me with jail 6 times. 6 times. And 2 of them, he used a judicial tactic of he goes, Mr. Pierce, now I've warned you, you know what? And he lets a pause hang in there. And he goes, Mr. Bailiff. And he says the name or whatever. And it's just to make you think, I might get thrown in jail, Listen, you dumb motherfucker. I'm not afraid of your jail. I have prepared my life to go to jail for a year, effective immediately. You need to comprehend that through your thick skull. I am not afraid of your jail. Therefore, I am not afraid of you. What you should be very concerned about is what I would say to the other inmates in jail about you and about that courthouse and about what can be done on paper against it, especially concerning nonviolent, victimless charges, the bane of every inhabitant of this land. What makes police hated are nonviolent, victimless criminal charges. And they're too stupid to call that out. Well, anybody who would become a police officer, it's just punching down to say they're stupid. I just shouldn't even do that. It is what it is. It's not excusable, it's just, why waste the time? So, I am spending the time with these 2 lawyers in this video, right? I want you to understand me clearly, 2 lawyers who may or may not ever hear this, because you are going to see the name Joseph Pierce in my face around that courthouse a lot. And I want you to understand so that when you have discussions, because it will come up, somebody's going in front of the St. Charles County Council and saying what I'm about to say, every single time they meet with the public there listening and streaming, I'm going to again and again and again, it's going to be relentless. If you want to know how that works, you can go to the Hilo, Hawaii city and ask them. Joseph Pierce is here with us. He says he's going to start coming to the county council. What does that mean? Ask him. Don't believe me. So when and this is all, I'm not trying to be tough. Okay, anybody who knows me knows I am not a tough guy. I am 49 years old. I am not trying to be no tough guy. Okay, I don't have that type of ego where I want to clash horns and go to combat. I don't. It is all, like a hardcore Christian gives praise to Jesus, I give all praise to the words. If you just have knowledge of the words, I like Socrates. Marcus Aurelius is all right for a guy that went to war so much, but hey, I don't know their life. The words is where the power is. So you 2 lawyers, understand this. It's not that I spit in your eye verbally because I just, for no good reason. There's a damn good reason. Here's the reason. Here is the reason. The entire point of this message to you. Get it. If you care to get it, get this. All I would want and need you to do is what I have tried to do from day 1. The first words I spoke in the first hearing I ever went to were something like this. I fully intend to plead guilty here today. In fact, I brought an unsigned plea of guilt. It's right here in my hand. Sign, leave with my freedom, pay the fine, whatever. I would simply like to be informed of the cause and nature of this charge here today before I do. Now, that's for the prosecution, but I just want to make sure I've never been in this courtroom before, and I'm not from here. Do I have a right to a fair and meaningful hearing here? That is how I start, okay? And judges are more than happy when you start like that to answer some yes or no's, right? It is kind of building up their opportunity to show in front of the public how fair they are. Of course, everything I say to a judge is either a trap or springing a trap, laying or springing a trap. And this is the laying of a trap, so great. So I do have a right to a fair and meaningful hearing. Do I have a right to be informed of the cause and nature of the charges and proceedings against me here today, like it says in the Fourth Amendment? Is it the Fourth or the Fifth? Well, I get them all mixed up. It's not my Constitution, and it's not my Bill of Rights. It's not important to my brain. I don't care. I just Google it. Oh, it's the Fourth or the Fifth. Oh, it's the 32nd. Who cares? Do I have it or do I not? It's your rule. Now, I know what it is. I'm just trying to make a point. Anyway. And they say yes. Yes, you do. And of course, if they ever said no, they really can't say no to that. But anyway, I'll talk about that later. So, okay, great. So I have a right to a fair and meaningful hearing, and I have a right to be informed of the cause and nature of the charges and proceedings against me here today. Am I presumed innocent? Again, softball. Here you go, Judge. Crack! He hits it out of the home run with a crowd pleasing. Yes! And the crowd goes wild. Yes! We all are presumed innocent. Yes! And then he goes to... And so then you ask, am I presumed innocent of every element of the charges here today? Now we're getting a little bit more specific out of vague land. And most people don't know what that is. I mean, they do know, they just don't have it articulated. So an element is like motive. Motive is an element of the criminal charge. Jurisdiction is very much an element of the criminal charge. Right? So you get another crowd-pleasing, yes, yes. And if they say no, I have stuff for this. And they do, and whatever. Anyway, I'll just get to the point. So, okay, then, if jurisdiction, one of these elements, well, how are they going to say no to that? Jurisdiction is one of the elements. And by the way, I've asked this of judges across the country from Hawaii to Florida, okay? In Texas and Missouri, I'm from Utah, right? Get with the program. And I've listened to hundreds of people tell me stories of their personal experiences. So, yes, jurisdiction is an element that you're presumed innocent of. And then, okay, so I'm presumed innocent of jurisdiction. Now, this is where you'll get the problem, right? But all you're saying is if A equals B and B equals C, does A equal C? That is all you're doing. That is a 6-year-old's level of logic, right? In a real society, they'd be like 3 years old. But yeah, if A is B and B is C, then A is C. That's all you're doing. If I'm presumed innocent, then I'm presumed innocent of jurisdiction, correct? According to your rules, not mine. I'm not making this claim. I'm clarifying because you don't have to answer questions. You've made that clear in a very unfriendly way. So, if I'm presumed innocent of jurisdiction, I would like to investigate something as part of knowing the cause and nature of these charges here against me here today. That you've said I have a right to know. Before I just plead and accept the jurisdiction of this court, I just would like to investigate how is it, by what mechanism did the judge, or not, I'm sorry, did the court come to the conclusion, like upon what factual evidence did the court rely to form the conclusion that my innocence of jurisdiction had been flipped and I no longer was innocent of jurisdiction. Where did that light switch get flipped? By what mechanism? Now, people say, well, that's a dumb question. Oh, the military does it. It's called consent. You go to the UCMJ. Now, I still have arguments against even if they sign, but they sign, that's the point. International courts, human rights violations, war crimes, genocide, genocide. They address the issue. Jurisdiction. We have jurisdiction. Even if it's because we're a group of a bunch of countries that got together, it doesn't include you at all, but we say you're guilty of war crimes and we're going to prosecute you, that's our jurisdiction. They claim it. When someone asks, hey, by what mechanism do you claim to have jurisdiction over these people and impose upon them, they go, bam, there it is. Even if it was nothing but global public will, they could say that. And if it was in the line of ethics, I mean, you're talking about war criminals, okay? If they've got evidence, they're done. So if and church courts, I was forced Mormon. Mormons have Mormon courts. Jews have Jew courts. There are different courts. And if you're a member of that court, there's your jurisdiction. You don't want to be in that court? Poof, you're out. It's called consent. Consent to the military. Consent to church courts. If you're a war criminal, consent doesn't apply to you. Why? Because ethics doesn't apply to you. Why? Because you're not capable of ethical contract. That's why. Whew. The most underrated concept in all political theory. In my humble opinion. So anyway, jurisdiction doesn't matter. You can't dismiss it with, well, it doesn't matter. Okay? How does that switch get flipped? And it never does. That's the hustle. They use coercive threats of violence, bailiffs, and all the terroristic level type of oppression that the government does for legalized extortion mainly, based on writing down on paper through your signature in legalese that you don't understand and that your lawyer interprets only for you in a way that he finds the system finds acceptable to you. Your defense lawyer will only let you know what he thinks you should know as a defendant. I have in my possession something that the current prosecutor sent to me, and because they think I am pro se, they sent me a document that says, this copy is for you. And it put it in bold capital letters in the middle of the page. If you read only one thing, you're gonna see this. Their demand. This copy of this is for only the defense lawyer, you. This copy is not for the defendant. I have hard copy documentation of that. Now, what the fuck is that? That right there is only possible when there's a massive conflict of interest. And both lawyers and the judge are licensed by the same fictional entity that lies blameless. So when the mob comes, like throughout all of human history, with their torches and pitchforks, there's no one to blame. There's no one to blame. The fundamental concept that all the tyranny relies upon, having no one to blame. How did they learn this? Here's a little sidebar for you. Through judges. Why do judges have white wigs? Because they were hated so much and yet had so much power that people would poison their food. Number one death of a judge back in the day. Poisoning. They have to eat. They're too lazy to raise and cook their own meals. They get served. They get poisoned. Ricin. They got to protect themselves. So they start giving themselves a tiny bit of ricin, tiny bit of ricin, tiny bit of ricin as a way to ward off ricin. Turns their hair white, fucked up. Hence the judicial wig. The judicial wig's roots are in people trying to poison judges because judges are fucking evil people. Who decides has all the power? Well, if you're a flawed human being who is wielding it without the merit of someone who is actually going to use that power for ethical means, then you're corrupt and you'll take bribery and you'll just go with a system that's already corrupt and you'll be like, yeah, I want to go to law school and yeah, give me my bar test and yeah, I passed, yay, I get to be a lawyer. Well, but I'm a criminal defense lawyer, so I'm one of the good guys. No, you're not. The reason why I looked at you the way I did is because you're a poisonous snake and you're part of the problem. And even if you think you're one of the good guys, it's because you find a certain bit about this acceptable. You are a frog in a pot of boiling water, and I am a frog sitting out of it, going, that is boiling water. And you can't tell. It's just lukewarm to you, but it's boiling. It's lukewarm to you just because it suits you, it soothes you, it pays you, it supports you, it gives you status through which you get pussy in a family. Praise. All things that make you very much not want to go to jail. So take your free services and shove them you know where, because you are part of the problem, sir. And any man who would hear these words that says these people are licensed and the public defenders are paid by the same fictional entity. Don't just gloss over words. That means a huge, massive system that is designed to oppress you, the average person who's not a member of their club, and they make one where there's no one to blame. Can't blame the prosecutor, can't blame the judge, can't blame the legislative branch. Well, everybody's pointing the finger at someone else. Oh, I know, we'll blame the state of Missouri. Oh, yeah, that's where all the blame goes. You offer your services to me as an insult to my intelligence if I gave a flying fuck about you or your opinions or your feelings or your career or your success or if you get hit by a bus tomorrow. I don't. You are a bar member, sir. And you think, oh, you don't know what it's like. You're full of shit. I graduated from United States Air Force Flight School. They called me a winged pilot. I told them to go fuck themselves. I'm not asking you to do anything I have not done. Oh, maybe I could see your point, Joe, if I wasn't blinded by the halo. I get it. I would say the same thing too. Yo, but it's still the truth. Still the truth. Is it bragging if it's true? I switched it from behind the three-point arc. That decision aged very well. You are supporting a system that makes your offer of generosity a manipulation, a deception that serves the very man that you claim to be trying to rescue me from in so many ways. Offering for free. What you heard was me articulating very well and effectively, accurately, according to court records of which I had proof in my hand, and said so, that you had a slam dunk case. You know this system is crooked, you work in it, and you look, aha, I've got an easy one. If they violated in this way and this way and this way, I, as his lawyer, can get all kinds of cool lawyer points, defense lawyer points. Woo, that's where the money is, after all. By exposing the obvious corruption. And the reason why I'll win is because I'm the one filing the paperwork. A bar member. Not him and nobody. He files 3 motions on July 7th that if they were written by a bar member would be 100% on the table of discussion right here and now. And he would not be interrupted, I can guarantee you that. If he dared to have the balls to speak, which he wouldn't because he's being coerced by a career, because he's a coward. He's a ethical coward, sir. I would tell this to you to your handsome face. You guys look sharp in your suits, man. You're doing well in that way. I compliment a man when he's doing well in a certain way. Good job on you. However, in my humble opinion, a man is comprised of 2 ingredients. Balls and a spine. Balls make you go, you know what? I have a line. The line has been crossed. It is now physical go time. This is something I would avoid at all costs, but by God, when some lines are crossed, it is physical go time. That's balls. If someone punches your sister and you do nothing, you have no balls. Now, this is something that you're either born with or you're not. Very few people, men, can switch. At least that's what you'll observe. Don't believe me. Okay, I don't need to make a claim here. The spine. The spine, of course, is what makes you go from a sitting position or laying down or on all fours like an animal crawler to a human erect on 2 feet, capable of human consciousness and ethics. This concept that arises from the primordial ooze of animalistic heat of the moment and only the moment exists violence. This gift of being able to go, you know what? I feel a certain way about that person over there because I've been in that position. And is there really a reason for them to be predated on, or just what? I don't know. I feel some way. There's some kind of wiring in my way about someone hurting a kid. Ethics, right? A spine. A spine is founded in these ethics, but it makes a man speak. It makes a man stand up and speak, especially truth to power, and the power is crossing the line. Judges are crossing the line, big time. Jails are nothing but emasculation centers to make punishment as severe as possible while still not bringing a mob of pitchforks down on them. This is the system you work in. You chose it. You chose to stay in it. You could have done anything else. The amount of power that a defense lawyer has in this crooked system is insane. And you are the type of man who would plant his seed of ambition in such rotten soil. You, sirs, have no spine. I want you to understand this clearly when you speak to your friends or whatever about your encounter with me and how unimportant I am. Because over the next little bitty, while AI is coming into the program, and while I'm concluding these criminal procedures, because they are going to dismiss them, and I'm going to get them dismissed, I don't need you to get anything dismissed, sirs. I am 7-0. Okay? I've got 2 cases going on right now. I had 2 here in Missouri less than 5 years ago. Both of those got dismissed, one in the first hearing and one in the second hearing. How many lawyers can get traffic tickets dismissed like that? One for no insurance, no current tag, which I wouldn't get current on purpose because I don't fucking voluntarily pay rent on stuff I own, property I own outright. I'm not paying you rent. I own this. Ownership means you don't pay rent. And the other one was running through an orange-yellow light when it was so, like, at night there was no traffic and it was orange. Okay, nothing dangerous happened. I could do that a billion times in a simulation and no one would ever even come close to getting hit in an accident. There was no close car. There was nothing like that. Cop just didn't like me going through the orange. Nice guy, too. I told him, in fact, he was so nice. This is in University City. Why don't you go look this up? He was so nice and so respectful that I'm a mirror. I treated him like gold back. Next thing you know, I end up telling him, look, bro, I'm not trying to, knock your profession or anything, but just so you know, I doubt you've ever been told this before. I'm not going to have to pay any kind of money for this ticket, and I'm not going to get any kind of insurance points on it, and I'm not going to have to pay a lawyer, and I don't live or exist in the same plane as everyone else you write a ticket to, in so many words. And I'm more than welcoming you to come to the hearing, please, by all means. Don't believe me, just show up. Now, I put it less arrogant than that, right? But that's what I was saying. And he could not have been more receptive. He was like, man, I totally will. Of course, he's asking me. This is not me ranting and him listening. I don't rant to cops. I act. If they ask, I answer. If they shut up, I shut up. If they ask again, I will answer. This led to an ongoing conversation because this dude's asking me questions. I end up telling him about the hustle, how there is no jurisdictional light switch that goes from I'm presumed innocent of jurisdiction to I'm now not presumed innocent of jurisdiction other than coercion. I go, again, not trying to insult your profession, but jurisdiction is on your hip, sir. That gun on your hip is their jurisdiction. The gun in the room, the coercive threat of violence that forces silence, is jurisdiction. They don't have consent. Military courts had consent. You and I signed up for UCMJ. That was consent. We agreed. We'll be bound by these if we break these rules. 100%. You and I are on board. Huh? Yeah. All right, cool. What about religious courts? I know, I was making this point. So I told him. He was like, holy. He's like, all right, I'll be there. So the hearing goes by. What happens? I get it dismissed in one hearing. Bam. I call him back. I leave a message. He calls me back. I remember this moment in my life. I remember where I was. I remember I was parked in a work van under shade, and I had this wonderful conversation with this dude. He calls me up. He's like, yo, hey, Mr. Pierce, blah, 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 blah. Hey, whatever happened to that? Blah, blah, blah. And I go, oh, because I left a message for him. I had his card. I left a message for him. And I go, yo. I didn't say yo. I'm just telling this story like that. I'm not a yo bro. Not at all. It's just how I tell stories, whatever. It's just stupid. So I go, yeah, that happened. And just like I said, I got it dismissed. He's like, oh man, I couldn't be there. I was working. I go, but I'll tell you what, I know a lot of those people in that courthouse. So let me give them a call. I'll call you right back. I was like, all right, peace. And I didn't say that, but So, 15 minutes go by or whatever it was. I was on my lunch break. Bang, he calls me back. And he's like, yeah, so this is what they said. They're like, yeah, they remember you. Yeah, they remembered it happened. And the prosecutor, all he had to say was, oh, that guy was lucky because we had a replacement prosecutor in that day, that woman there, and I wasn't able to make it. But if I was there, he wouldn't have been able to do that. He wouldn't have been able to get away with that. I said, dude, who do you think has power in that room over, where's the power hierarchy there? Judge is more powerful than the lawyer. Clearly. I don't give a shit what the lawyer says. Who's the one that dismissed the case? The judge did. You think it's going to matter what body's in that? What, because you're going to say some words? You don't think I have words coming back at you, buddy? And it might extend it to a second hearing like the other one did, but I got that dismissed too. If they have to force a lawyer or a plea, and they're just trying to do legalized extortion over traffic tickets, no judge wants to fight that, and so they'll let it go. But then, One day I walk out to refill my bird feeder and a dog attacks me. Someone starts lying about how it had a ball in its mouth and I'm guilty of animal abuse. I, who love dogs more than human beings. A dog is a more noble creature than a human being. By the way, I'm glad that dog lived. I hope it's doing well. Even though she used, it might have been the same dog. I don't know. They got a new dog. And my roommate was out there with me. I got home from the courthouse 2 days ago when I filed those motions. And she was in the backyard, saw me pull around into the cul-de-sac and park. She came into the front yard with her dog and started having her dog bark while totally facing me, blah, 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 like crazy, and just walking the perimeter of her house as close to me as she possibly could. It was crazy. Yeah, 2 days ago that happened. She did that. Isn't that sane? Owner of the dog. Wow. Some intimidation type tactic. Anyway, I won't go into it, but so I don't even remember where I was really, but yeah, the jurisdictional issue. So the cop, I told him, and he came back with a phone call and said, yes, and so I told him, like, that doesn't mean anything. The judge had the power, blah, blah, blah. And oh, by the way, I've done this. You know, at that point, it was like 4 or 5 other times. And I know all the tree, like the variety of paths that will tree out based on what is said by who. I have all that covered in my head, memorized cold. Like, my freedom's on the line. The human brain memorizes that cold, period. All right? I either had to use words to get out, or I'm going to use something else to get out. And I really wanted to be able to use words first. Great. So here we are, Mr. Lawyers. Hey, just wanted you to know, if you care, which I don't think you do or should or would or could or whatever, but if you ever do hear this and you wanted to know, this is 100% my full opinion. I'd tell it to your face. It's not about me. Has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me. I once got recognized in public, well, twice, and I just couldn't stand it. I freaking hate it. And then I shut everything down, like, I don't want to do this. Like, nothing to do with me. I've never made a penny from YouTube or anywhere else online, okay? People want to throw money at me to spend my time with them. I'm not going to turn that down, and that's happened a lot. But I haven't taken any money off of YouTube. It's not about me. I'm not a cool person or whatever. I'm totally flawed. I was a drunk for many years. Like, I'm not a perfect single father. Probably wasn't around enough. Like, I'm a flawed human being. I don't have like a 150 IQ. People kick my ass chest regularly. I'm only like a 1200 ELO player. Like, it's not about me. It's not about me. All right, I used to be 50 pounds more. I got some a sag in my ass and my gut. That's not attractive. I don't care if people know my flaws or please don't think I'm cool. I'm trying to be cool or tough. It's all about the switch. How does jurisdiction go from innocent to not? That's all I care about. My revenge is not, again, with me or this case or anybody at St. Charles Courthouse. It's I'm going to be a part of using AI to get rid of all of you. All of you, your jobs, your careers, your retirement funds. Expose all of you. Expose this jurisdictional switch, all of them. Right? By educating the next generation through the use of this modern, insanely advanced technology that's getting more and more cheap every day, and people are wanting less and less of public schools every day. As someone told it to me, the iron is hot. You could be in the forge. Allow me to smelt the metal into a weapon. And then we distribute that. That's how it was put to me. And that's what this is about. And so when you look at me with this quizzical face, like, how is this guy not only turning down my offer, but doing so, like saying he would never accept being represented by a bar member? This massive conflict of interest exists, whether you guys want to admit it's the elephant in the room or not. Like, this is the type of lingo I said, and you'll hear it. You'll hear it. Top tier performance. Top tier performances can only happen when you get a judge that is top tier abusive of his power. And luckily those two factors came together today, so great. You are not anywhere near hearing the end of this. This case is going to be over, and then I'm going to file lawsuits against the county and the city of Wentzville and the jail, and I'm going to tell everybody, the county council, this. I don't care if I don't even win a penny. And I don't care if it all goes for nothing. I don't care. The only thing I care about is spitting ethical truth to your power. That's it. I'm just trying to get it to catch on. I'm just trying to spark and see if there's some gas on the ground. Because more and more people, they smell gas. And it's not a destructive thing when it's burning down a dead fortress that only serves those who profit because their personality type is to support dead fortresses. That is their optimal survival strategy as organisms individually. It's disgusting. All human life does not have the same value. We are not created equal. Now they meant that under, some whatever context. I don't want to take them out of context. I'm not referring to that. We're not created equal. And if you're capable of ignoring any kind of inner compass that tells you, how in the hell can I participate in this bar membership when clearly it preys upon the weak, it keeps people purposefully in the dark, it does not want them being educated. This is what con men do, this is what hustlers do, swindlers do, to get them out of their money, to get them afraid of us. We'll threaten them, make them plea, 90% plea. Oh, if they take us to trial, we're going to punish them. Your jails are nothing but a joke. You legally sexually assaulted me. It's nothing but a joke. You're not even, it's so pathetic. It's not even a courthouse. I don't consider it a court. You have to be legitimate in order to earn the title of court or judge or lawyer. I don't consider you a lawyer. You're a pretender. You're a fake. That little inner voice that tells people, what if anybody finds out I'm really just a fake? If you ever had that voice, it's because that's fucking true. You're a fake. What are you? You're talented in the manipulations and defending people within a manipulative system. And you do that and are rewarded through money, which means it's not about ethics and applying it equally, given whatever circumstances. It's about how can I rope the richest clients? Just like gold digging whores are like, how can I secure the richest husband? You're a whore. You're a gold diggerous whore. And you don't have a spine. You might have balls. You don't have a spine. You're not a man in my book. You're not. I could not, if I lived your life, I could not look myself in the mirror. I could not look my daughter in the face. How do you do it? I have no idea. And I don't want to know. I want nothing to do with knowing how to live life while doing something like that. They aren't going to turn my ass into a murderer. It's not going to happen. And I'm not anything special. How is this not the normal average? The special should be like extreme athletical achievement, extreme intellectual accomplishment, extreme invention toward the goodness of mankind as a whole. That should be accomplishment. Elon Musk, or whatever his politics, whatever his world, he has accomplished great things. And AI is going to accomplish great things. And it's going to require people who are not licensed by you. And it's going to require people who have been through your system. And it's going to take people who are not afraid of you or tempted by your free offer of your trash services. When I say this, I'm not even angry at you. Why would I be? You're of no threat to me. I'm just, make it clear. My face and body will be vulnerable and present everywhere I go when I pursue all of you and this system. Not out of vengeance, not out of spite. I just did 3 days, grueling, torturous days in jail according to their definitions, not mine. That wasn't tortured according to me. I did that shit standing on my head. That's a lie, it sucked. But it was only 76 hours. How much can 76 hours suck if you're not being beaten or assaulted? You know what I mean? So anyway, go look at the tape. I've requested the tape. Is anybody saying, oh yeah, here's the tape, the jail tapes that you requested according to the Sunshine Law that you have access to these? No, nobody's talking about that at all. That's not going to last forever. I'm going to see those videotapes. That sexual assault is going to come out. How much credibility do you think that has when you're building a curriculum for young minds? How much do you think? How much? It's not something you can buy. It's not something you can earn on a credit report. It's not a degree you can hang on the wall. It has to be earned because it has to be your wiring. And you, two unfortunate souls, will never know the satisfaction, the ecstatic satisfaction of speaking truth to power and not having to be afraid of it, because you know it inside and out, and it is no threat to you. Their jails are no threat to you. You are a threat to them if they keep you in their jails. And if anyone doesn't believe me and they have the power to throw me in a jail, here's your invitation. I've been dying to know what I could accomplish in the general population of a jail. And not a single judge has dared put me in one yet. It's always solitary confinement if it's more than overnight. Why is that? It's not about me. It's not about me. This is what's coming. And this is what I dedicate my life to. There's nothing more important I could be doing with my short life. Nothing. Not a thing. I need no search for meaning or purpose. Creating distortion-free signal and transmitting it to power is all I care about doing. Seriously. And because I can do that, I would not trade my life with anyone who does not have that ability. All the riches, all the fame, all the pussy, all the family, all the vacations and all the pleasures and all the good vibes from charity that could ever come abound, if I would not be able to have what I can do in that courtroom today, what you saw, and the entire foundation that allows me to do that, I wouldn't trade lives with anyone. So you take that with you, and you see if you can meet another man who can make such a claim and stand on it. Because this is that valuable. This is the heaven on earth that all these books are trying to find. Fearless truth to power. It's just a choice, and it's an education. And it can be that simple. Somebody once paid me to teach their 13-year-old girl how to do it. And the three of us, within an hour and a half, she was passing a role play with me as a judge. All it took was an hour and a half. That's one student, one-on-one teaching. Just imagine if AI makes learning so appealing to students individually, not while they're crammed into a class of 30, of diversity, IQ diversity most importantly. And they have things like augmented reality goggles. They can reach out and see and be in the courtroom. And I get to design what I've been role-playing what judges are and prosecutors and bailiffs since 2015. We used to get on Skype and the calls would never end. It would never end. The whole 24-hour cycle would go through and another 24 and another 24 hours because there were constantly people streaming in and streaming out around the world. I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. The English-speaking world is that big. I got a lot of England, a lot of Canada, a lot of Australia, obviously. So, that's what's up. That's why I don't want your help. Why I would never accept being represented. How crazy is it? It's just schizophrenic. Well, this guy's representing himself. Okay, we're using schizophrenic language. Okay? I can only be in one place or one person at a time. I'm not trying to represent myself or have you represent me as you or vice versa or whatever. Your little word game salad with your legalese bullshit is your education, what you learned on, and it's a big part of the deception. Black's Law Dictionary, right? Let's go back to the roots. I had never had that happen before. I had no idea how long this video would be. Turns out it's 45 minutes. That's my response, with no judge cutting me off. If you would like to know more, by chance, which I highly doubt, feel free to leave a comment. I would be more than happy to meet people at a public place and have discussions. And I wouldn't even care if they were plants. And I'm not important for plants. I'm not important enough for government attention, thank God. But I wouldn't care. I may not decide to agree unless I get a cool vibe, whatever, but I'm just letting you know. I'm not like, I'm hiding away. Everybody has my address. Everybody has even one of my phone numbers, my full name. I don't care. Everybody knows where to find me. I don't care. I'm fully doxxed on the internet. I don't care. I could just move if I really wanted to, change phone numbers. I don't care. So that's why you got that look. That's why you got that look. And that's why I turned you and your wannabe hero attempt into, you smell like shit. That's why there's disgust on my face. It's that poop smell instinct that's coming out of your face about wanting to represent me and be part of this deception hustle. I am a man. I have lines. If they are crossed, actions will follow. If my power is limited, I will find alternative actions where it is not. It is that simple. There's no more complex than that. And what am I doing in the meantime? I am enjoying the hell out of my life. Do you want to go fly quadcopters? Do you want to hop on an electric mountain bike? Do you want to go on a kayak? Do you want to talk about crested geckos or monitor lizards? We can talk about other forms of biology I won't mention. I've traveled a few places. I have guns we can shoot. You know, you want to talk? We can do that. I play chess. I play Texas Hold'em, poker. We can go to any of these places. I got a bunch of shit I'm enjoying the hell out of my life. This is just one part, but it's the most important. All others pale in comparison combined. I would just love to hear, I'm done, but I would just love to hear their sincere response to this. I'll never hear it. I'll never hear it. I'll never hear it. Because one of two things has to happen. They would either have to admit that they are complicit in this piece of shit system and chose to participate in it from the moment they decided their whole career trajectory, or they'd have to quit this career. And of course, they're not going to do either, which is why I'm never going to hear from any of them. Never am I ever going to hear words from them, honest, from the soul words from them, like you all are hearing from me now. You'll never hear that from a government employee. All bar members deserve to be in prison.